Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the Adventures in Digital Marketing podcast, live Facebook show, and YouTube show. It's a daily show that I do. I come in here, talk to you about all the stuff that I'm working on, what's going on, what's working, what doesn't work, and all that kind of stuff. And I am going to eventually put all that stuff in an intro that stands on its own. But right now, I don't have it, haven't had time to do that. And it's just easier to come on here and click go live and just go do it. I wanted to get back on here because I took a little bit of a break, and I am back and I am doing great. For those of you that have reached out and have inquired about how I'm doing, where I've been, I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Nothing's wrong, nothing's bad, none of that stuff. I just needed to take a break. I needed to stop for a few minutes and collect my thoughts and gather myself and and just review, right? For the last year, and actually been seeing it, because how Facebook does the here is what you posted a year ago. And I actually had over, I think it was sometime last week, one of the first times that I went live on Facebook, and it popped back up into my feed. And I've grown a ton since then. And, as it's very common, you look back on those and you go, yeah, that's a little cringeworthy and not really awesome. Not that these videos that I'm doing here are exponentially better, but I think I'm after a year of doing this now, I'm starting to find my voice and starting to figure out how things flow for me. But wanted to just kind of step back and give a little bit of perspective, really, because like I said, I needed to take a break, and it had become challenging to get on here every morning and do this live thing where I'm coming in and talking to you guys about what's going on and what's not. The thing is, the reality is, some days I get a lot of people that come in here and join me live, and I really appreciate that. Some days I don't get anybody, and that's challenging. It's made me wonder, whether doing all this stuff is even worth it. It's made me, question my own thoughts and my own advice that I give to people about, publishing every day, because this is something that I've been doing for a while. And my everyday publishing thing has been going well, without a doubt. It has been going well. But what you don't hear a lot of times are the things that come along with that, and the challenges that you face when you are committed to that kind of production. And, the bottom line is just freaking hard. It's hard to, number one, it's hard to find something to come in here and talk about, even when you're documenting and not trying to create. If you use that old Gary Vaynerchuk way of approaching things, that, quit trying to be so much of a high production kind of person and just get on and document what you're doing, where you are, how things are going, and all that sort of stuff. And that works. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that is a great way to do this, because it definitely has worked for me. And, just to kind of give you some background too, because, my podcast subscribers have grown, my YouTube subscribers have grown, and my exposure here on Facebook has grown as well. So there's nothing bad at all that has come as a product of me coming on here and doing Facebook Live every day. But, for a while, I just needed to step back and just say, okay, I'm just going to work on other stuff this morning and not worry about going live today. And not that I didn't want to, because there were several times when I'm like, man, I really feel like I should probably be doing something here, and I should be getting on live and talking about it. But I decided against it. I said, you know what? I'm going to give myself a break. I'm going to take an opportunity to rest and to refresh my mind and to get back into the swing of things after a couple weeks. So it's actually been, I don't think it's been quite 2 weeks, but it has been almost 2 complete weeks since I decided to stop doing it. and not that I've decided to stop doing it, but like I said, I was taking a break. So here's the deal. One of the things that I've done as a product of that is to eat a little bit of my own dog food, which is to, I talk about, review, revise, and repeat a lot when it comes to content creation. And that's what I've done. I needed to take a step back and just see, the things, that I've found that have worked, right? So what have been the biggest topics that I've talked about that have worked? I haven't really experimented very much with time because my time is very limited, and how I have, when I have the mental energy to do this is definitely in the morning, because by the time I get into the afternoon and the evening, God bless my friends like Alan Dean and Zeki Ahmed and those guys that can get on and go and do live during the evening, later in like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Hey, look, if that works for you, more power to you. It just doesn't, man, that's such a hard time for me to do that. And, so, a while back, I hit my groove where I decided I would come in here in the mornings, even before I got like fully into my day. It's like, this isn't the beginning of my day. I've been, I've already been through all my web analytics. I've been looking at my content plan and putting my plan together for my day over the last couple hours. So, this is definitely not the beginning of my day, but this is just the right time for me. And so, and the good thing is, with Facebook, this stuff stays out there, right? I share all of these videos. I make sure they go out there, and then you can go to my YouTube channel at roborr.tv and catch anything if you're interested in any of the stuff that I've talked about. And I really have talked about some really good stuff, if I do say so myself. That was one of the things when I was doing my review. I'm like, man, there's some really great topics in here, and there's some really great advice in some of this stuff, from some of the stuff that I've learned. And so, anyway, but that was one of the things that I've learned, so you go back and you look at it and you figure out what works and what doesn't. You review it, you revise it, and then you repeat, and then you do the whole cycle again. So, the last couple of weeks really for me has just been a matter of reviewing and trying to revise my approach a little bit. So I've got some things that I'm going to be talking about. Some things resonate with you guys. Some things you guys really like to hear about. Some things are not as much, which is fine. I mean, that's just the world that we live in. People's attention span is microseconds, right? We got the attention span of a freaking goldfish. So trying to get out there and snatch the attention of your audience is never easy, right? All this stuff, the unwritten or the undeclared secret of online business and digital marketing and stuff like that is that despite all of the claims, a lot of the claims which are true, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of things that you can do, a lot of hacks, a lot of shortcuts, a lot of things that you can learn to do better, do business better and faster online. But man, the one thing that people don't talk about is how hard it is. How hard it is to stay consistent, how hard it is to be creative, how hard it is to maintain your creative energy, and how hard it is just to maintain the daily workflow that is associated with it. I've been all in on this for a while now, and there are parts of my business that have just absolutely exploded in growth. There's no doubt that I'm seeing, hockey stick trends in some of the things that I've been doing and the way that I've been doing things. But there, other things that need a lot of work. And so anyway, that's what I've been doing, is just revising and reviewing and saying, hey, these topics work, these don't work. I'm not really going to change the time because it just doesn't work for me to do a different time. Unless I get up in the middle of the night and do it. And who's going to watch that, right? So, because my time when I'm most creative and have the most energy is first thing in the morning. So that's what it's going to be. I will be back on here live again, starting tomorrow I'll be coming back and talking to you about these things and the things that are working, things that aren't working, and hopefully, the approach will be a little bit better. One of the things that I'm going to get back into doing, and one of the things that I looked at over the last couple weeks, is doing more interviews and getting on with real people that are in the same boat as you and me to talk about what they're working on and what they've learned and what makes them successful, and what they're struggling with, and those kinds of things. So that will be something that is new that I'll be working on getting back up to speed. I used to do these interviews in my group. I may still do that. I haven't decided one way or the other whether I'm going to do it on my profile or if I'm going to do it in my group. But it will be something that I'm looking forward to. I've got a list of great people, some of which have already responded, that are on board with doing this. So we'll be talking about doing some interviews and talking to people about what they're doing in their business. And hopefully we'll find something that may help you in your business. And I know I learned a ton, like from the interview series that I did in my group that I did a while back. I learned so much from Amanda, from Akul, from Vamsi, from all of the people that I had interviewed in my group. So it was pretty freaking awesome. And I'm going to do more of that. And hopefully it'll be something that is helpful and enlightening to you guys. So anyway, like I said, I'm back. I'll be back in here every weekday to come in here and talk to you. And maybe sometimes on the weekends, if I can figure out a time to do that and to fit it in, because I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I have a life, and I try not to live every single moment of my life online. But I am trying to incorporate more of what happens outside of the office into the things that I'm sharing on my various different platforms. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank you for those that have been with me live. For those that are watching on the replay or listening on the replay, hit me up with #replay. Please let me know. I want to hear from you guys. Come on, man. Somebody say something. Leave me a comment. Say, hey, Rob, your freaking lives suck. I hate them. I don't want you to do this anymore. You suck. Obviously, I don't want you to think that my lives suck. But if you had a question, give me your questions, your thoughts, your feedback. I want to hear from you guys. Want to hear what's working for you, where you're struggling, and there might be some way that I can help you guys. So you guys have a fantastic Monday. You go out and kick ass all day today. We'll talk to you later. Bye.